Hello, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, I'm Ron. Hope everything is going well. I've only had the iFlight Nazgul Evoque F5 for a few weeks now, so this isn't going to be an in-depth review. Instead, I'll just give you my initial thoughts on this bind and fly quad from iFlight. And before we get too far into this video, if you like the FPV footage so far, do me a favor and drop a like, comment below. It goes a long way to supporting the channel and I really appreciate it. And if you really want to show some love, subscribe to the channel as well. So to kick things off, I did purchase this quad with my own money. So this is not any type of sponsored video. These are my own thoughts, and there was zero compensation received for making this video. Now, if you're not familiar with this quad, well, it's gotten a lot of attention lately in part because it has a ton of unique and interesting features. Obviously, and most notably, the green LED lights. It's just a really cool feature of this particular quad. The LED lights wrap all the way around the quad, and iFlight indicates that the bottom LEDs can also indicate battery voltage, which gives you a quick hint of the voltage remaining by just looking at the bottom of the quad. Though I've never actually used the LED lights for this. I just like the way that they actually look. And iFlight actually makes two versions of this. I have the digital version with the Caddx Polar Vista HD system, which prices around $450 US. And iFlight also makes an analog version of this bind and fly quad starting around $300 as well. And I've flown this quad in a few different locations now, and most of the flying I'm doing is more geared toward those smoother, cleaner, cinematic looking shots. And it's also worth noting I'm doing this by using the newest GoPro, the GoPro 10 Black, mounted to it. So it does add a bit more weight to the quad, but I had zero issues supporting the GoPro 10 being mounted on top of this quad. Also worth noting is this is the 4S version. They also make a 6S version as well. Mine was ordered with the squashed X or True X frame configuration, not the DeadCat frame style, which extends the arms of the quad out further, keeping the props out of view. Though with the GoPro 10 Black setup that I'm using and the camera angle that I fly, I've not had any issues with the props being in view with the GoPro footage. That being said, if you fly the GoPro at less of an angle, then perhaps it could be an issue. But again, I've not seen the props in view using the GoPro footage, at least not to date. And I'm not gonna do an unboxing type video, plenty of those already out there, but I can tell you I'm extremely impressed with both the packaging and the amount of detail that iFlight takes in the labeling of everything for this particular quad. The other really cool feature of this quad is the secured and integrated XT60 battery plug on the back of the quad. Just a nice touch which keeps all the battery cables away from your props. iFlight really thought out the layout of this quad, and so far I'm really impressed. Just a great way to address battery cables on your 5-inch quads. The other big selling point for me is the Zing 2 performance motors. These are some of the best motors on the market today. They have a 7075 aluminum bell, which has a harder aluminum, giving your motors more durability. They also have a 55mm titanium alloy shaft and NSK durable bearings. Again, just pointing out that you have some really top-notch, top-quality motors on this quad. You've got some great electronics inside the quad as well. You've got a F7 55A power stack, and it's all protected with the injection molded plastic side panels that run along the sides of your quad. Another nice touch here, because these side panels protect your electronics from any debris, dirt, or hits that your quad may take while flying or running into any kind of objects. I also have the version with the pre-installed GPS. I'm not, however, using the GPS rescue feature. I've not configured GPS rescue in beta flight for this particular quad. I'm simply using the GPS for telemetry information, things like how fast I'm going, what direction I'm heading, in case I lose my bearings. And I'm still not entirely comfortable with the GPS rescue feature in beta flight, and I don't quite trust it based on the information I've read and heard to date. It's just not as good as what we would have in something like a return to home feature in a DJI type quad. And if you are using the Betaflight GPS Rescue, let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear your experience with it to date. So what do I think of this quad so far? Well, I'm really liking it. It's my favorite new 5-inch quad to fly at the moment. It's a ton of fun to fly. It's got a lot of great tech built into it as well. The only downside of this quad is the Caddx Polar FPV camera. The digital video in this camera is good, however, it only provides you the 16:9 aspect ratio. All my other quads that I fly with have the option for a 4:3 aspect ratio, so the perspective and the gauging of distance is throwing me off just a bit. I just wish the FPV camera on this quad also had the 4:3 aspect ratio. 4:3 is just a better experience for me personally when I'm flying and trying to gauge object distances around me, and gives me a little more visible real estate in the top and the bottom portion of the frame. And if you're not sure what I'm referring to regarding the 4:3 or the 16:9 aspect ratios, or which is better to use, I also did do a more detailed video. I'll put it up here if you want to check that out. Other than that, for my needs, it's a great 5-inch quad. It may not be for everyone, as there are cheaper 5-inch builds that are bind and flies out there, but I think in 2021 it's a good value for your money, especially with the ongoing computer chip shortages, and it doesn't seem like anything's going to be changing there anytime soon, at least not in 2022. That's about it in this video. I just wanted to share with you my experience with this quad so far. If you got any value out of this video, please give it a like, leave me a comment below, subscribe again if you haven't already, be safe, and we'll see you guys in the next video.